Here with Wolters World, and today we're here in Albany, New York. That's New York State capital behind me. And today I'm just going to walk around downtown Albany because this town, there's some really gorgeous architecture here in Albany. You can really see there's been some money that's flown into this city for a few years, to say the least. But I thought we'd just walk around, show you some of the beautiful architecture. If you got questions about travel, you can let me know. But I thought this would be a fun way to spend our Saturday morning walking around. But let's be honest, you don't want to see my face. You want to see some of this architecture here. So I'm going to switch this the other direction. And there you go. There is, hey, Mark Finley, good to see you. Hey, Money. Hey, Bubba. So for those of you who don't know, I'm actually filming this, on my phone, so I can only see like 3 comments at a time. So I apologize if I missed some of your comments. But I want to show you some of downtown Albany here today, because we're here. We've actually been exploring Ohio and the state of New York the last few days. Well, the last couple of weeks, actually. And it's had some good times, and I thought I'd talk about a few things about our trips here. So if you do have questions and I do miss it, feel free to ask them again, because as I'm just walking around on a phone, I can see too, like right now I see no comments, so they only show up for about a split second. But I see that Lily is going to Spain in August. Can I also add on Italy? What countries are open in Europe? Here's the thing, is when you're traveling in Europe this summer, if you're an American, if you're European, you can pretty much go wherever you want to go. If you're an American, we're welcome a lot of places, but if you're going to go to another country, you're going to have to do the same quarantine or the same testing beforehand. So find where you can get tested before you travel, before you go. So if you're going to do Spain and Italy, make sure you have a place in Spain where you can get tested, because if you have to have the 72 hours before PCR test, you're going to take that wherever you are. It's the same thing here. Our sons are doing some camps, and the camp said, look, you have to have a PCR test within 72 hours of the camp starting. Now, we're nowhere near home, so we found our local CVS and got a PCR test for the boys yesterday. So something you have to really think about. Hey, someone is in New York. Good to see you. Hey, Sam in Wisconsin. Good to see you. Yeah, Deb is asking, Adam's family here in New York on Roosevelt Island is just as muggy. Here, let me show you. Can you see the sweat just dripping off? People, when people talk about New York summers, they don't talk about the cool concerts. They don't talk about the great events that are going on. They talk about that heat that just makes you and humidity. You're like, oh, I can feel the air. That's why I actually came out, was filming some videos and some B-roll this morning, and I'm like dripping. I'm like, I should probably do the live now to show people stuff, because I don't think you want to see me just dripping with sweat completely, because ew, that would be gross. But yeah, it is super muggy. It is super muggy here in New York. So on our trip so far in New York, we were in Buffalo for a few days, and then we went to the Finger Lakes, and we're in Ithaca, and now we're in Albany. So doing some, the other kind of things, not just the New York City part of New York. And so what was cool is wherever we've gone, we've seen, okay, maybe not architecture quite this grandiose, but we have seen a lot of cool architecture. Like if you go to Buffalo, you can tell there was a huge middle class there for a long time, because there's so many neighborhoods that have really incredible architecture, like well-built buildings. You're like, wow, that's actually really cool. There's actually a Frank Lloyd Wright house you can go see in Buffalo that is just amazing, and they've actually got it all rebuilt, and they've got the gardens redone, so it's all really ready to go. Let's see. Michael says the UK's NHS vaccine passport app is not valid in the Republic of Ireland. Yeah, this is one of the things. If you're going to be traveling around, you got to figure out which vaccine proof is going to be good and which is going to be accepted. I know for us, because we had, in the US we get the little white cards, and we've got the yellow cards for the WHO stuff, but you're going to have to keep researching what's on there, because whatever variant is the latest variant, people are going to be worried about it. They want to have proof that you have a PCR test. So even if you are vaccinated, make sure you're still getting your tests and all those things. Let's see. Hey, Jocelyn. I see Jocelyn's on there. Yeah, she's back at the hotel with Liam and Caleb. I think Caleb still zonked out a little bit. He wasn't feeling too well yesterday. But we're here. We went to one of the brew pubs here last night with Nick Barnett. You might know him as Global Nico, one of our friends, another fellow traveler. But we had a good time with him last night, chatting away. So, what was cool? Hey guys. What's cool is when you walk around Albany, well, downtown Albany, say, you can see all these spectacular architecture, and you'll notice there's one that doesn't really fit in. Now, not right necessarily right here, but I'll show you in a little bit when we walk by. You were like, huh, something doesn't quite match. Michael, Traveling World, is planning to go to Boston in August. Yeah, the Black Heritage Trail would be a good one for a half day. It's not a problem. You can spend more time on it, but that would be a good one to do. Boston actually has a lot of trails that are set up to help travelers get more out of their trip because they get so many tourists that come through there. So I would definitely look into that. Let's see. Oh, the humidity. Yeah. Oh, there's Nick. Hey. Yeah, Jocelyn says she loves humidity. Yeah, because it gives her hair body. I have no hair to get body from the humidity. I just have fat that gets sweaty from the humidity. So there is that. But I will say, if you're wondering something that will annoy you in Albany, extremely long waits to cross the street. Okay, I will say that one. Dr. Hamilton, I need to go back to Boston. Yes, Boston was a fun visit. If you're going to be going by yourself, or you're going to go with family or friends, kids, whatever. Honestly, Boston is a good option because it has stuff for everybody to do. So you get your history thing, you can get your silly stuff. Yes, they do have the Cheers bar that's out in Quincy Market. I mean, yeah, it's over there, over the top cheesiness. But if you're from that era, you can see the made up version of it and sit at the spot where Norm sat. That's actually a more popular spot, but you'll see people go out there and eat. Let's see. So my gimbal I'm using kind of has a mind of its own now. I think the heat has not done it well. But what's cool is you can see like the stonework that's here. We've seen a lot of really great stone buildings here in upstate New York. And I will tell you, when you go to upstate New York, one of the don'ts we have is like, don't just stay on I-90 or I-81 or whatever. You really want to go to some of the smaller towns. And of course I'm saying this while I'm walking through Albany, which is, the capital. But honestly, I mean, even if you just go to Cooperstown to see the Baseball Hall of Fame, that is a great representation of some of the cute villages and small towns in New York. Because, everyone thinks of New York as just New York City, and it's not. I mean, the state is gorgeous. I mean, it is just gorgeous. Now, service in the state, not so gorgeous. Drivers in the state, not so gorgeous. Like, I've seen more fingers flying than a gamer conference, because wow, people were getting upset. Chris, the small city of Albany. Yep. But what's cool is you have a lot of great churches here. I know the sun's on the wrong side, with a lot of great stonework and there's a lot of cool towers around the town. It looks like BioShock. I literally drove across the state of New York last summer. Nice. No camera shaking. Dude, I can't control any of this stuff. This is just sitting on a gimbal. Hey, but I think people should be happy it's not raining. I mean, it's been raining like crazy. But you can see there's some really cool stuff. Like over here. Some really great stuff. But then you have like really nice architecture and some newer buildings that kind of fit in. And then you have the Hilton. The Hilton did not quite get the memo on trying to stay like cool looking or historic. I mean, they got the brick thing, but they didn't quite get the aesthetics quite right to really fit in. And the parking garage down there just goes along with the hotel. But look, another beautiful church with a beautiful tower. But honestly, walking around this morning, I'm like, this is nice. KSL, there's nobody in the streets. Yeah, if you go to any state capital on a Saturday morning, there is never anybody there because all the government buildings are closed. So people aren't out exploring. So you just have random tourists like me walking around. And so I've seen a few other tourists that are seeing the city and doing stuff. So there is that. My next international destination will be France. I'm going to France, and we have tickets for Ireland as well. So those are the ones that I know we're going to do and that we actually have tickets booked for. We still have a lot more stuff to see in the US, because before Europe and other places started to open up again, we were booking our stuff for the summer because I knew this summer would be crazy. With all the travel and everybody getting back traveling, so we booked a lot of things early. And actually, we were in Columbus, Ohio, and when I checked into the hotel there, they're like, "Oh my God, how did you get this right?" I'm like, "Well, I booked a few months ago because I knew it'd be busy." She's like, "Oh yeah, because for the 2 nights you're paying now, like you wouldn't have got 1 night here if you would have booked like last week." I'm like, "Well, that's why you book ahead, especially when you know it's going to be quite busy when you are here." Someone asked if we're going to be up in Vermont. No, Lily, sadly, we will not be up in Vermont this time. We have some friends up there. We're planning to do kind of a Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine trip on its own to really see all those. So we can put them together and do them justice, because I'll be honest, Vermont and New Hampshire are gorgeous. New Hampshire actually has a view tax. Like if your view's better, they tax you more. It's crazy. Hey, Bill Long, hope you're doing well. I want to let Jocelyn and the other people answer questions that are on here. Buffalo. So Buffalo, I'll be honest with you folks, buffalo wings, or just wings when you're here in New York, seriously, they were amazing. I mean, we love chicken wings. We eat wings all the time, but nothing compared to what we had in Buffalo. It was awesome. What was even better is the blue cheese dressing they had that you dip it in was like out of this freaking world. It was amazing. So that was kind of cool. But in general, I don't know. We went to Anchor Bar, the original Anchor Bar where they were first from. We went to Duff's, the original location for that, and we had both those wings, and they both were fantastic. I'm not like, you can't go wrong with either of them. I would say for people that want to go, Duff's is more like you go for wings, then fries, and you drink, and that's it. Whereas if you want to have like buffalo style pizza, or you want to have a little more food options, Anchor's got more food options. But the original Anchor is right downtown, so that's a lot easier to get to if you're staying in downtown Buffalo. Also, we actually all agreed that Anchor had the best chicken wings, the best sauce, and the wings at Duff's were a bit crispier, but they're all, you can't go wrong. I mean, the wings were just amazing when we were there. Let's see, some other questions out here. What are your favorite parts of Ireland? Actually, I always love going to Kilkenny when we're there. That's one of my favorite, like, smaller towns when we're there. But Kinsale, a lot of people go to Cork, and I tell people, like, look, you don't need to go to, if you're going to Cork, I mean, I'm not the hugest fan of Cork, but you're going to go kiss the Blarney Stone in Blarney, which is by Cork. Go to the coast south of Cork and go to Kinsale. Cute fishing village, on the water. There's a bunch of pubs, obviously live music at night. It's something that I cannot say highly enough. Let's see, Lithuania, any plans to go back? So for those of you who don't know, I actually lived in Lithuania for 3.5 years. So it has a special place in my heart. I don't know when we're going to get back. I'd like to get back to see my buddy Alvy and Ernesta and their daughter and everything, my other friends that are there. So we'll get back eventually, just not sure when yet. So how am I liking Albany? I do like the fact there are a ton of really highly rated restaurants around here, and a lot of brew pubs and bars and stuff, and it's awesome. But the thing is, everything's closed now, or their kitchens are closed, so it was a little more difficult finding places to eat last night. So we went to a brewery last night. The beer was good, the food was, well, their pretzels were good. Their poutine was good too, but their burgers were, sometimes you can't always get the best of the best. I should have just got the wings. Michael says Dublin's very expensive, drives me mad when I see people getting ripped off. Yeah, I mean that's one of the things that sometimes we forget is, when we talk about coming to different countries, and it might seem affordable for you or it may seem expensive for you, it's all relative where people are from, and people get upset when tourists get ripped off in their town, because what happens is people then go home and they find out they get ripped off, or they know they got ripped off, and then that's going to have a negative impact on their perception of the country. And I know for me, oh good, I can walk. For me, I see it all the time where people are so upset from experience. Hey everybody, they're so can you see the sweat? Can you see the sweat? It's humid. It's humid. Yes, it's fat and humidity make a great combination. But the thing is what you'll see is people will get really upset, and then they'll share their bad experience with people. A person wrote me actually this week. They wanted to. Their kids are going to Croatia, and they're like, my coworkers said it's dangerous there, and it's horrible, and it's bad, and they're going to get you. La la la. I mean, just going on. And I'm like, and they were asking like, did you have that experience in Croatia? I'm like, no, I had no experience like that at all. But like, we are seasoned travelers, you know. I guess maybe there's someone had a bad experience. But then as we were going, as I started talking to them more, turns out that person hadn't actually been to Croatia. It was just a friend of theirs that had a bad experience, and therefore they were sharing that bad experience with their friends, who then shared it with other friends, who shared it with more people. And I'm like, dude, Croatia's a great place to go. Like, it shouldn't be distant, especially if you've never been there, you know? So that was kind of weird. So here I want to show you another cool building here. And it's available, 5,600 square feet, if you're interested. Yeah, so I've been walking around for our destination location channel, where it's just basically the B-roll, so you can see what cities look like, so you don't have to have my voice over the top. Just try to, you know, we use some YouTube music in the background. You can go and see some of the cities before you come, so you have a better idea of what to expect. Ethan wants to know, can you do a video on Hawaii? So we were supposed to go to Hawaii in March, but when we all got tested, one of our kids tested positive. So we spent our spring break travel time quarantined in our house for 2 weeks. So kind of missed out on that one. So, and now Hawaii is too expensive. Like, it's just, for what it would cost for us to go there and do what we want to do, I can do a couple trips to Europe with the whole family. I bring the grandma and grandpa to watch the kids occasionally, so that's been kind of a downer, but it is what it is. SSS, why is there no one on the streets? It's a state capital on a Saturday morning. I mean, it's what, 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday in the summer, so government workers, they don't work on Saturday, and they're probably away for the summer break. So the university, this is SUNY University, Albany, right in front of me, and there's no class in session, so you just get nice empty streets. So that's why I thought it'd be nice to walk around, so I'm not running into people, so I can show you cool architecture and talk a little bit about travel. Obviously I'm having a hard time answering anybody's questions because the questions only show up for like a split second, so that kind of sucks. Yeah, Europe is a better value than Hawaii, and I know Hawaii's getting better with their restrictions and what you have to do, but I've had a lot of friends that have had some issues because going between islands, and like, your vaccination from other U.S. states doesn't count. It's only if you're vaccinated in Hawaii. I mean, there's a lot of things. Hey, I'm gonna walk over here. So, waiting for the light. Got some grandiose buildings here, wouldn't you say? Robert says, head up to Lake George, New York. That would be nice to get up there. So I restrictions are some among the toughest. Oh, shit. Luckily, that wasn't that guy backing up into me. See, just waiting on the light again. So actually, there's a museum of Irish ancestry or Irish history here in Albany you can go to. Just waiting. Just waiting. See if there's any questions. Racing season started in Saratoga. I saw that. That we actually talked with Global Nico last night about that. We was here. Nick Barnett, you might see him on here. He was here having dinner with us last night. Seriously, longest traffic lights when there's nobody around. Yeah. So I'll do it the old-fashioned way. You didn't see me do this. I'm giving my phone to someone else so they can jaywalk across the street. Shh! Don't tell. It's our little secret. I'm sure people park in the no parking zones too. Sorry. Let's see. Go to Thatcher Parking, great lay of the land on the overlook. Thank you, Lindsay, I appreciate that. Ethan Songs, can you also do a video on Alaska? So we will eventually do a video on Alaska. We're looking at doing something like that. It would probably either be a September trip or a May trip. Might actually go with the grandparents on that one. So we're looking into it. We've been getting the information about them. So we'll know more about some cruises and some trips like that soon. Goldie Varney, what time is it where I'm at? It is 9:43 is where I'm at. Let's see. I gotta try something here. Turn that off. Let's see. There you go. I'm in the same time zone as Mark. I'm glad you know what time zone we're at, because I'm a little lost. I'm sorry the sun's in a bad angle here. So for those of you that have gone to Canada and been to big cities like Montreal and Toronto, you've seen many, well, in Age City 1, huge, gorgeous hotel built by the train company that looks kind of like this, the same kind of vibe, but this is not a hotel. Technically, I'm on the State University of New York campus here in Albany. So, and you can see all the students hard at work students everywhere, hard at work students, indeed. So, no, I mean, Albany's got some really, really kick-butt architecture, I gotta say. I mean, you can really see where the money was. I like this one. Michael says, hey, if I could go by cruise ship from Liverpool to Dublin, despite the 8-hour crossing time, I would do so. Nice. Ethan wants to know, would you ever visit Antarctica? Yes, I totally would. That's one of my regrets when I was living in Argentina, when I had time. I did not get down to Antarctica. Of course, at the time, I did not have the money to do Antarctica. One of the things, if you're looking to go, it depends what kind of trip you go on, because some are like the ships that go down, and there's some rough seas down there, just so you know. And there's no guarantee you actually get to touch the land. So some people like fly into Antarctica and they go from there, so then they guarantee actually seeing and being in Antarctica. So that's something for a future Wolters World video, but a future trip, but not right now. Chris Bates asks, what brings you to Albany? Actually, we're staying here in Albany because we were supposed to be in Western Massachusetts, but everything in Western Massachusetts was booked out today. And I was booking in early May, late April, and it was like everything was booked out. So we were spending tonight here, and then we have tomorrow night. We're in Western Massachusetts. So, and then I think it's the state capital, so it should be cool. It actually is. Like the number of incredible architecture that's here, and the number of actually what look like really good bars and restaurants are quite high in Albany. So I need to give it a chance and spend some more time here, because it has good bones for a traveler to visit, and it's not too far. I mean, it's like an hour and a half. You get to Cooperstown, you want to see the Baseball Hall of Fame. I mean, if you're doing a trek across New York State, you should realize when you come to New York State, it's not just New York City. I mean, it's like multiple states in one, because you got upstate New York, and depending where, some people say Hudson Valley is the cutoff. Some people say, no, it's the Brooklyn Bridge is the cutoff. I mean, it's hard to say really where upstate New York is, but upstate New York, Western New York, Central New York, there's like, it has just a really different feel when you go around. And if you talk to people from New York City, you know, like I was talking to Nick about this, he was like, yeah, Western New York, Buffalo, sometimes you almost forget that's part of New York State because it's so far over there, and it feels more like Ohio accent stuff than the Eastern New York. So kind of interesting there. Hey, Everett. Yeah, it does look like a nice city. And like last night, we were out, and we were out here in downtown, and I didn't really feel too worried about being downtown and walking downtown at night. I mean, there's parts obviously you wouldn't want to go to, but I felt more comfortable here than I did in downtown Buffalo. I mean, just saying from my experience. Let's see. Yeah, Hannah, exactly. Yeah, New York City did its own thing as well. So that's one. But check this out. Can you see the building? Look, you can see the eagles in the windows. I don't know if you can see that. But really cool. This is the United States Courthouse. Ethan, if you think it's hot in New York, you should go to Mississippi. Yeah, there's a that's funny. That's funny. So I was actually putting together our Natchez, Mississippi video, and we filmed that. I think it was in November, and I'm like, man, I am glad I am not here this summer because this would be horrible. And you guys, it would be horrible because Mississippi's the next level of hot and humidity. Though I think Louisiana might have you beat in some spots, but there are some places I've been. I remember the first time I went down to Savannah to see Jocelyn, and I walked out of the airplane, or out of the airport, right? Because, you know, you're in the airplane, it's got the controlled environment, and then it's got the controlled environment. Look, it's not jaywalking when it's a pedestrian street person. Anyway, and I walked out, and so you're in all this controlled environment, and then all of a sudden you walk out in the humidity and the heat. It was just like, I mean, I came out, I'm like, can't breathe. And Josh's like, just breathe. It's just the humidity. I know it feels like you're breathing through a wet blanket, but it's just the humidity. You'll be okay. And then after a while, I was okay, but I was like, oh my God. But that was the first time I had the true southern heat and humidity experience, I guess you'd say. So it can be a bit much the first time, but it also works the other way. I know Jocelyn, when she used to drive from Georgia to Illinois, you know, she'd be like, yeah, I hop in the car with my dog, and I'd be in shorts and a t-shirt. And when I stop and get gas in Tennessee, I'd throw on a sweatshirt maybe, and then by the time I got to Illinois, there'd be snow. So it was kind of funny. Oh, Crystal, we got that thunderstorm. I think we were in Buffalo when that went through. So we were actually watching. Gotta love it. We were watching Black Widow, and it was like pouring down rain. We were like, it's not raining in the movie, and they're like, oh, that's outside. So yodel for New York City. This is my closest city. I'm in town. Cool. And what I love about when you're going around, I mean, obviously the Albany upstate dentist office, not so spectacular, but when you go, you see a lot of detail in the older architecture. Like, look up. There's one up here I want to show you. When you're walking around, you'll see, you know, like, ooh, stone building. You'll see some, oh man, when you're driving through upstate New York, you will see old buildings made out of hewn stone. It is just gorgeous. And you're like, you just can't make that these days. So, as you can see up there, the lions on the, here, let me get closer here. So you look up there, can you see the lions on the globe up there? I don't know if this will zoom in or not. Oops, sorry. So you see the detail that's up on the top, and you walk around the buildings, you'll see all kinds of little things on these older historic buildings, because they would, you know, the pomp and circumstance would show up. I know this is an extreme example, but there are things up there that's worth looking up from your phone and taking more in from the city, because there are some really cool spots to see. So this looks like Detroit. We're looking to go Taco House. We're looking to go to Detroit maybe later this year, so we can see what it's like. Because I haven't been to Detroit in a long, probably like since like early 90s, late 80s maybe. So it's been a while. I mean, I've been to the airport a number of times, but it has been a while. Let's see. What'd you talk about in Antarctica? It's cold, there's some ice. Yeah, true. but I think it would be cool to see. Last continent. Am I going by the water, by the waterway? Well, the water is down that way, but no, I'm just kind of just doing a little walk around, just showing the buildings and stuff. No real plans. Well, no real plans for Albany. What other trips do you have planned for the year? So we have Ireland, France, Nashville, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, San Francisco. We've got, we're going back to West Virginia, Greece, hopefully. What else do we have? There's a few more out there, so I don't give everything away, but we got some good stuff here. Like, look at the artwork, the stonework above the windows here. I mean, you just can't beat that. It's just gorgeous. French Lake, I can go see where Larry Bird's from. Very nice. So, yeah, that jaywalking person's got to be mad at me. But there's no light to cross with, so I will take my life into my own hands yet again. But yeah, I love the architecture here in Albany. Jocelyn would love walking around, taking it all in. Stay here at this park for a little bit and answer some questions, and then I'm gonna head back to the family, but I thought I could at least answer a few more of your questions, where I can actually dedicate some time actually sitting down and talking. Let's see. No shirtless blonde honks. Don't worry, I won't take it off. Nobody needs to see that. Nobody wants to see that. Ethan wants to know, have you ever wondered where cartoon characters are supposed to live in the cartoons? Actually, when I was younger, I was a huge cartoon guy, comic strip person. I used to know all those things, where they're supposed to be from. That's why I always love when I go through Minneapolis Airport. You go through there, there's a big, huge Snoopy there because Schultz was from there. Anyway, let me get a non-melting position, because sitting in the baking sun, ooh, not always a fun proposition. So let's see. Don't mind me. Let's try to get this pineapple under the sea. Yes, there are those too. All right. So let's see. Let's go through some questions. What's on the breakfast menu for this morning? So we're at the Hampton Inn, and the guy that runs the breakfast apologized when I came. I was like, I'm sorry, we don't have a lot of stuff today. I'm like, it's okay. He's like, tomorrow will be better. I'm like, don't worry about it, man. We'll find something. So Liam and I had the waffles there, and then we left because it was a madhouse down there. Mark says, you're making me nervous about our New York City trip next month. Yeah, you're gonna be hot, Mark, but dude, New York City is so awesome. I mean, I could sit there and sweat like a pig, like I could be perhaps right now, but I'd still love going to New York City. It is so worth it. Let's see. Oh, Lori Sims, it's nice to just see you live doing a walk. Yeah, no, that's the thing is I got to figure out how to do these better, because some cities are easy to do the walking and talking kind of stuff. Like Vegas has so many things going on that you can easily walk around and show people things, and people get excited. Our friends at Turn It Up World, they do that in Vegas a lot, and people love it. And I'm trying to figure out a good way for us to do that. Like when we're going around, so I'm testing out here in Albany and see like what's it like, because there's a lot of really great architecture to kind of see and talk about when you're in Albany. So it works out well. But I think when we start going back to Europe, I know I'll be in France. I'll probably do a live feed from Strasbourg and Colmar and Paris. But the thing is, you gotta be careful with walking around and filming these things, because you get people that scream and yell at you, or people try to take your phone, which has happened, or people come and just start yelling cuss words just so they can be like, I'm cussing on YouTube, yay, so these things happen. But also there's a safety thing. Like there's a reason why I'm walking around doing this on a Saturday morning when there's nobody around, because there's no traffic either, so I'm not worried that I'm going to get hit by a car, or I'm going to be in people's way. So I try to make it a little bit safer for myself, but also less annoying for the people that are there when I'm walking around. Hey, there's 158 of you watching. Can you all do me a favor? Can you hit that like button? Like 3, 2, 1. Hit that like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. It means a lot when you hit the like button. I just want to know, about these live walks. Usually when we're going to Colmar and we're going to Strasbourg and Paris, I will have much more tourist information about that destination. Because here in Albany, we're just here relaxing in Albany. So I haven't prepared, videos to make, and I haven't prepared, a lot of stuff. I mean, I have a few things I'm putting together here, but I don't have a Don'ts of Albany. I don't have I Love and Hates of Albany, which I probably could actually put some stuff together now. But this is one of those days where, like, look, we're just relaxing, taking some time off. So I thought a nice morning walk and showing the city to everybody would be kind of a cool thing. Maryland lives in New York, very cool. Rep in Albany, Saratoga Springs. Yeah, we went through there. Well, I think for me, one of the things people need to realize is when you're in New York, I mean, really, like, if you're in the Finger Lakes where the wine regions are, doing the vineyards there is really nice, but the people and the atmosphere and the geography and everything throughout the state changes so much that you really do get a vibe that you're like in a different city sometimes. All right, so I just went by, asked, do I prefer New York with the snow or in the summer? I think it depends, because if I was trying to drive to the villages in the winter, I don't think I'd have a good time with all that snow. Especially western New York with that snow, I would not enjoy that. But they actually know how to clear the roads, so it's not as bad as you think it's going to be. I would like fall. Can I say fall? So there is that. Oh, the Adirondacks. I wish we were, but we're heading to Connecticut because we have stuff going on there. So we'll be heading to Connecticut for the next, week or so. So we'll be there. So we will be doing some lives from there. So like Wednesday night, we'll probably be doing a live on YouTube and a live on our Amazon account, Amazon.com/shop/Wolters World. We'll be all live on there as well. So we have some stuff there. Yeah, Ethan says a lot of cartoons don't tell you where they're from. Yeah, it's kind of general, kind of like how the Simpsons say, we're from Springfield, and there's like 27 different Springfields in the U.S. And I know they voted and they decided which one it was, but you never know really which one it is. So Michael John Dennis, what's it like in California, Hollywood, LA, and San Francisco? I will be filming in those locations again in, I think, October. So I'll be making videos to talk about all that to help you out. Spartacans, how big is the Albany airport? Not super big. I could say that. Ah, Chris Bates, my home state is Connecticut too. Well, if you want to hook us up with some don'ts and treats for Connecticut, Chris, we always appreciate that. You can always DM us and talk to us, my friend. You've helped us out with a lot of information over the years. You're always appreciated. And actually, all of you are appreciated. I know this is an early morning live, and not all of us are up to do stuff on a Saturday morning in the summer. We're in the middle of the summer where now we're at that breaking point. It's the tipping point, because now it's like, it's now the end of July, which means August is coming, which means school's going to start up again soon. I think my kids go back to school a month from today. That's weird. And I go back to school a week from today. Oh, that's even worse. So there is that. Don't go to Hartford. The rest of the state is good. Yep. JT Brown asks, do you like traveling with train? I do, especially when I'm in Europe. I really enjoy it because I like looking out the window. I like having the workspace. I like not being locked in. And people tend to be less freaky outy on trains than they are planes. I don't know. It just seems people seem more relaxed. You don't have as much of the fear of flying. Mike, No-Go Zones. Hey, glad to see you on my birthday. Glad I can be here. Let me know when you got your Iraq video done. Very cool, very cool. I know who else. There's a couple other people that put out some Iraq videos, so you stay safe. I guess you've already back from there, but cool, yeah. Make sure you share with me. I'd love to see them. Cider Belly is so good. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see. Oh. I'm like scrolling through because now that I'm sitting down, I actually scroll through some of the comments. Crystal lives about 15 minutes away from this. Sandra says, I'm so glad you're here in Albany. I went past it on a bus to Syracuse and wanted to see more. I was disappointed in the bus station, but the town, the waterway looked nice. Yeah, no, the town, like the downtown area really looks pretty. I've been taking a bunch of like the short B-roll video so I can put like just a downtown Albany like video together for our destination location channel. If you go to the Wolters World main page, you'll see it says suggested channels or whatever, and one of them will be destination location, and that's where I'll put those videos. So I'll have some stuff for that. But yeah, no, I walk by the bus station. Yeah, no, I understand exactly what you mean. Ethan, I wish Virginia got as much snow as New York State. No, you don't. Hey there, we love you over here in Germany. Come again sometime, please. Simon, we will be there. I know that. My mom and I are both big fans. So we will be back in Germany. It's weird. 2020 is the first year I haven't been to Germany since 1995, I think. So that's 25 years, basically 25 years in a row I got to Germany. So last year was the first year I didn't. And we're not going to get there this year, so it'll be 2 years in a row without it. So hopefully we'll get back. The Donks visit Afghanistan. Yeah, I won't be doing that one anytime soon. I like that, Derek. 2020 doesn't count. Thank you. I appreciate that. So Haley Hall writes, would you and Jocelyn ever do The Amazing Race? So we've seen that before. People have asked us that before. Years ago I watched a few of the episodes. I'm like, oh, that'd be kind of fun to do. I don't know what our plan would be because I'd have to watch some of the later seasons to see what they've been up to. Because sometimes, it's like when Survivor was big when it first came out. Like, how do you get it done versus how you get it done now? Like how you win. It's a different strategy. So I have to, get an idea of what's working for other people. Oh yeah, Germany is having big floods right now. Germany, a lot of Central Europe, lots of flooding. Really, really bad stuff. You look on the news, you'll see some stuff. Like now you'll see a bunch of things on memes and stuff of the cars all stacked together. They got flooded together. So that's something. That's bad. Can we know your schedule for the live videos? I only do these occasionally. I do know this Wednesday night, probably around 8 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be live again here on YouTube, and we'll be live on Amazon.com/Wolters World. So we'll have two streams going for that. And yeah, so we'll have more lives this coming week to get a little bit more stuff in, and where I can actually sit down and actually see more than 1 or 2 comments at a time, because looking on your phone, you only get so much. My favorite Northeastern state would be Maine. I love Maine. The coastline of Maine is just gorgeous. Lots of good food that's up there. People are nice. I remember I actually looked to go into school in Bowdoin, way many years ago. I really liked the school. I went on a schooner trip in Maine when I was a kid with my grandfather for a week. And I've gone back a number of times to Katy National Park. It's one of the best national parks in the U.S. So we've had some fun when we've been there. So anyway. Oh, so John Anderson, what was the Hall of Fame you said? Because yeah, we've already been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on this trip, the International Boxing Hall of Fame on this trip, and the Baseball Hall of Fame on this trip. So we can always do another one. Oh, it's okay. So Eloise says, I live near the Atlantic Ocean in Brittany in France. We'll probably have a tornado as you have in the U.S. upcoming. This is so scary. So a lot of it is kind of, unless it really gets kicking up again, you will have some storms, but don't be scared. You'll be okay. Yes, I'm a big fan. Oh, the Basketball Hall of Fame in Western Massachusetts. That's it. Cool. Thank you. Jocelyn just texted me. It's weird because when I get a text while I'm watching this, the whole screen goes. Anyway, Kyle, yes, I have been to the Catskills. I've been there a few times. It's funny because I went there when I was a kid with my grandfather. Because on that trip to Maine, we did a bunch of stops along the way in the Northeast, and it was funny because I thought that was the more popular one, but now the Adirondacks are the more popular one, and the Catskills are starting to get popular again. So it's kind of funny. Tornadoes in England, yeah, scary times. How many times have I been to Vegas? 3 times, and I'll be the 4th time again later this month. Nashville, I'm sure, yeah, Country Music Hall of Fame. I'll be in Nashville probably next month, actually. So I'll be checking out all the good Nashville stuff again. I had a good time when I was in Nashville last time I was there. I mean, it's been a few years, so it's time to come back. Don't visit upstate New York. Don't think you know where upstate New York begins, because everyone has a different definition of where it starts. All right, so this was just a little short walk around town I wanted to give you all here in Albany, New York. I just want to thank you for everybody for popping on for a little bit. I know it's just a short little video, short little tour, but I just want to, show what it's like walking around and practice my walking around and seeing stuff. And I know now a few things I need to remember. 1, make sure it's a city I know really well, so I can give you tips and tricks. 2, do more research before I go, so I'll give you more tips and tricks. 3, make sure I'm doing it when it's not busy, so morning time when there's not a lot of people going around. So Saturday and Sunday mornings will be a safer bet. So we know this for next time. Anyway, thanks, Chris. You have a great day too. Jack, we will get to Utah. Don't you worry about that. See you later, Bill. Bye, Brent. So I wish you all a fantastic day. Whether you're traveling or not, I hope you have a great one. And remember, we'll be back live Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, that. Yes, Ethan, I love the snow. My wife hates it, so there is that. Anyway, I'll see y'all later, and you all have a fantastic, fantastic day. Yeah, so I'll say bye from here in Albany, New York.